everybody, it's that time. The patch is ending, so I want to go ahead and put out a quick video so that way you know everything that you need to do to get prepared for patch 3.5. So let's go ahead and take a look at the events. So the first thing that we have is Night City Roaming. This is pretty simple. Basically, you just need to go through Lucy and Rebecca's story, level them up, and attempt the Nightmare Atom Smasher challenges. But I did do some videos going into detail on how to do everything in this event. Next, we have the Depths of Illusive Realm. And if you're familiar with last patch's Illusive Realm, this one is much easier. I think you can get through this whole event in maybe 2 hours. All you basically need to do is just unlock all the levels. You can do this with just one team, and once you get a good enough run, you do a boss challenge. But again, I went into more detail in this video. And one of our last big events for this patch is Matrix Reform. If you're familiar with the story, once you got into Night City, there were little machines that you had to hack into. This event is basically all of that. But these can be kind of annoying, so I went ahead and completed all of them for you. So if you want to just see the answers, feel free to check out this video. After that, we have our login events, to where we have one to where you basically just need to log in and try to get some extra tuners and a little morning accessory. And we have a specific one for the cyberpunk characters, to where you need to log in for at least 10 days so that way you can get all of the free rolls for them. And of course, make sure you claim your free Rebecca. And today we just got core cleansing, to where we have a double drop chance for tacit fills, to where unfortunately if you do plan to go for Yang Yang or Sweet Sweet, you can't get their echoes until we go to the new stage. But we always need tuners, so just be sure to get the echo set that's best for you, and make sure you knock out your 3 double drop chances every day. Next, we have character trials, so where we have 2 that we need to look at. We have the one for Cardathea and we have the one for Lucilla. So as you see here, I haven't knocked out the Cardathea one yet, so do make sure that you're knocking out all of these character trials, because that is extra Asterite. And for our optional event, that is tactical holograms. I know right here it says that we have 6 days to complete it. These are something that you can always do no matter what. You can see for me, there are a lot of holograms that I have not attempted at all, but I can still go in, start the simulation, and get all of the rewards. So next, let's take a look at our recurring events, starting with Endstate Matrix. Now you have 7 days to go ahead and complete this. Of course, make sure you get through your stability rewards and you at least get 21,000 points. That way you can get all the Asterite. But if you are trying to get the special bike skin, remember this lasts for 3 patches. And since it does, we have a chance to do extra challenges to reach that score. So where I went ahead and showed you a way to where you could possibly knock out the challenge without using any 5-star resonators on your team. Next, we got Whimpering Waste. This goes away Monday. Most likely you've already knocked this out, especially if you did Endstate Matrix. But do realize that this is resetting, so that's some extra Asterite you can bring into patch 3.5. And lastly, we have Tower Adversity. We have plenty of time to do this, but if you have not, you might as well go ahead and knock it out. Next thing I want to talk about is the store, with the first thing being the bundles. Now, we are in a new month, so that means we got a new monthly bundle, as well as crystal solvents if that's something that you buy. But some may not know that they did refresh these packs when Cardathea came out. So if you did not pick them up, you might want to pick them up, especially if you plan to spin in the upcoming patch, because these packs are a very good deal. Next, I want to go ahead and talk about these accessories. Some may not know, but these are going away at the end of the patch. So if you do like Lene and Morny, you might want to go ahead and pick these up before they go away. Then we have the item exchange, to where we have the special cyberpunk elusive coral shop. This lasts for 17 days. I believe the reason for this is just to make sure if you do have extra coral, you can spend it even when we go into the next patch. But do realize the banners are ending at the end of the patch. And then lastly, I want to go ahead and mention the point shop, to where since it is a new month, we can now buy some more tuners and some seal tubes and whatever else you need, as long as you have those Tower of Adversity points. And if you do knock out a few tactical holograms, be sure to check out this shop, especially if you need some materials for your upcoming characters. And lastly, I want to go ahead and mention the limited characters. Of course, we have Lucilla and the Cardathea rerun, and of course we have the collab characters. Now the first 2 that I mentioned, those most likely are going to be coming back very soon, whereas the collab characters, we do not know. They may never be back. So if they are some characters that you're interested in, be sure to pick them up while you can. But either way, once this patch ends, you're going to have to wait to try to get them again. And finally, I want to go ahead and take a look at the permanent events. Here you can see the Scales of the Past, where this is another event that you don't have to do every patch. You can always come and just knock these out whenever you have the time. And of course, this is going to be the same for any events that you weren't able to quite finish in the past. For me, that would be Banners Never Fall. So be sure to check that out because you might have some extra Asterite lying around. Which brings us to patch 3.5 and what we can expect to see there, coming out on July 10th. So the new 5-star characters that we can expect to see are Yang Yang and Sweet Sweet. We also are finally getting the Electro Rover, and you already know their weapons are going to be very powerful. With this new patch, we're going to have 2 main story quests, and then we're going to probably have a segue at the very end. And we're getting a very big region to where there are multiple locations, so you can expect to get a lot of Asterite if you explore all over the place. And we're getting a lot of new events to where we have Lament Retcon. This is actually a very fun event, and I do plan to do an event guide talking about how to do it. Then we have a combat event to where we have the Virtual Crisis. This is a good event to where you can kind of test out your account, but even if you don't have the strongest account, they still give you enough trial characters so where you're able to get all the Asterite. We have another leisure event to where basically we're just taking pictures of our characters, the performing skills, or doing special poses, and we just get free Asterite. And we have an exploration event to where we're just going to be able to get some extra Asterite, another Scales of the Past, a Lolo campaign for more materials, and we're getting a new Endstate matrix with a few extra features. One big one being that we get an extra refresh on Chisa, which we desperately need. And if we complete it, we get a nice Dinia background. But if we get the 400 cycle points reward, we can get a special weapons kit. And for our last event, we have a web event to where we can just get a little extra Asterite. And of course, we have another login event to where we can just get some free rolls. Now let's talk about the things that might cost you to open up that wallet. We are getting 2 new outfits. One we're getting for Chisa, and the other we're getting for Lene. So if these are characters that you like, you might find yourself spending a little extra money this upcoming patch. We're also getting some character reruns of some of the O characters to where it's probably best to skip on that. But if you have already high constellations, someone like myself with Jinshi, I'm considering going ahead and just getting that S6. Outside of that, you might want to skip. And they do have a nice little thing to where if you do end up rolling for some of these characters, you can try to get some of those rows back. We're also going to be able to buy a new bike with a couple extra features and cool looking wings. So again, if you have a little extra money, you might want to consider getting it. Otherwise, it's probably best to pass. And just like the Morning and Lene accessories, we have some accessories for Yang Yang and Sweet Sweet, to where these of course will not be available once we go into patch 3.6. And with the new zone, that means we're going to have new enemies and new echoes. To where the first set, Song of the Feathered Trace, is going to pretty much be the set for Yang Yang and Sweet Sweet, to where both of them can use this set. So we're immediately going to be able to go in and try to get the best pieces for those 2 characters. But we also know of 2 other sets that we can do. So we can go ahead and take a look at this one, Heart of Evil's Purge, to where we can see that the 2 pieces is arrow damage and see what effect that it does. So we can already guess what the upcoming character is going to be. Most likely they're going to be an arrow character, and they're going to most likely be a main DPS, just looking at the 5-piece effect. And looking at the next echo set, we see Lamp of the Nether Road. And looking at these effects, I most likely think this person is going to be a fusion damage dealer, and they're most likely going to be a support since they're 2 pieces HP, and they have something to where if they get a shield, they're just going to increase their crit rate. To where if we take a look at Augusta's and Ayuno's main set, to where they have that special shield mechanic, one's a main DPS and one's a support. So since it seems that this character is going to be a main DPS, most likely this character might be a support, but that's just my theory. With that, you should know everything that you need to know to be prepared for patch 3.5. So let me know down in the comments, do you guys plan to roll for Yang Yang? Or are you waiting for some other characters? So if you guys enjoyed this, I would greatly appreciate a like so that way we can spread more on YouTube. But other than that, I'll talk with you guys later.